Welcome to our deep dive into the trucking world in 2025. We had this article from the Inside Lane, and the title is Perfect Trucking. What's in store for 2025?
Mm.
And it's amazing all the different experts they got to weigh in. I mean, we've got fleet executives and cybersecurity people, even a driving school instructor.
Wow, wow.
It's really like a glimpse into what the whole industry is thinking and feeling about the year ahead.
Yeah, it is fascinating to see all these different perspectives all in one place. It really gives us
Yeah.
this platform to really explore the industry from all these different angles.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's jump right in. We'll start with the economic outlook. Some of these experts are, really optimistic, like surprisingly so.
Right.
Talk about potential tax cuts and like a huge surge in consumer spending, leading to a real freight boom.
Yeah.
But it's not all, sunshine and roses, is it?
No, not exactly. I mean, there's this definite sense of worry too, right?
Yeah.
Like about high interest rates and industrial production maybe slowing down. You could really feel that tension in the article.
Yeah.
If the economy is doing well, trucking does well. But if things start to slow down,
Yeah.
that's when the trucking industry really feels the pressure.
Yeah. It sounds like it could be a real, like a roller coaster of a year
Yeah.
for trucking, economically speaking. And speaking of things that could make or break the year, one thing everyone seems to be focused on is diesel prices.
Oh, for sure.
Everyone's crossing their fingers for a price drop. But what kind of impact would that actually have on the industry?
Well, you got to think about it like this. For trucking companies, diesel is essential, like oxygen.
Mm.
It's a massive expense.
Mm.
So if diesel prices go down, their profit margins suddenly get a boost. And then what happens? They can reinvest that money back into their fleets. Maybe they explore some new technologies or even pass those savings on to us,
Oh, wow.
to the consumers through lower prices on the stuff we buy. It's a chain reaction.
So lower diesel prices could actually be good for everybody, not just the trucking companies.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation potentially.
That's really interesting. Okay, so we've got the economic side of things, but the article also talks about politics.
Uh-huh.
With a new administration coming in, there's a lot of talk about big policy changes.
Oh, yeah.
Some people are hoping for deregulation and less red tape, while others are worried about new trade policies that could shake things up.
Yeah. Deregulation is a big one.
Hmm.
It's definitely a hot topic. It could
Yeah.
really streamline things for trucking companies,
Mm-hmm.
maybe cut some costs.
Hmm.
But then there's this idea of nearshoring that keeps coming up.
Nearshore.
Yeah, it's basically the idea of companies bringing their manufacturing and production closer to home, sourcing stuff from nearby countries instead of relying on those really long global supply chains.
So instead of goods coming from across the ocean, we're talking about shorter trips.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe just across a border or two.
How would that impact trucking companies?
Hmm.
I mean,
Well, in some ways it could be good.
Yeah.
Shorter routes, potentially faster delivery times.
right.
But there's a flip side too. It would mean figuring out a whole new logistical system, right? New routes, new partnerships, adapting to different regulations and customs procedures.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Sounds like a giant logistical puzzle. All right, so we've got the economic forces, the political landscape.
Yeah.
But what about the people involved? The article mentions a lot about the risks of driver fatigue and distractions, especially now with more cars back on the roads as people head back to the office after COVID.
Oh, yeah. That's a huge concern. More cars mean more chances for accidents.
Yeah.
And truck drivers are already dealing with long hours, tight deadlines, traffic congestion.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
It is. Fatigue and distractions are a dangerous combination. We really need to prioritize driver training and safety programs. Make sure drivers are equipped to handle these increasingly challenging conditions.
For sure.
It's not just about protecting the drivers themselves. It's about everyone on the road.
Absolutely. Safety has to be the top priority. But the article also points out another way the human element comes into play, cybersecurity.
Oh, right.
It mentions how even something as simple as a weak password can leave trucking companies vulnerable.
Yeah, and the stakes are high. They handle so much sensitive data. Customer information details financial records. It's a gold mine for hackers.
Right.
A cyber attack could disrupt deliveries, compromise safety systems, even lead to cargo theft.
It's scary to think about.
It is. It's a reminder that cybersecurity isn't just about technology. It's about people and making sure everyone understands the risks.
Absolutely. So we've got economic uncertainty, political shifts, and the ever-present human element. But the article also dives into this technology that's creating a lot of buzz in the trucking world. Artificial intelligence.
AI.
AI. It seems like everyone's talking about it. What do you think?
AI is definitely the hot topic.
Mm.
The article makes it sound like it could revolutionize everything. Driver training, route optimization, real-time safety coaching. Imagine a system that analyzes road conditions, traffic patterns, and driver behavior and gives instant feedback to prevent accidents.
Like something out of a movie.
I know, right? That's a pretty amazing concept.
It is, but AI is powerful, right?
Mm.
I can't help but wonder, are there downsides? Are there unintended consequences we should be thinking about?
That's where things get interesting. One of the biggest concerns is jobs. As AI systems get more sophisticated, could they eventually replace human drivers altogether? It's a question that's looming over the whole industry.
Yeah.
We need to think about the impact on the livelihoods of truck drivers.
Yeah.
Whose jobs might be at risk. It's a really important point. You can't forget about the human side of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so moving on, the article also raises some concerns about cybersecurity threats. It warns that cyber attacks targeting trucking and logistics companies could be on the rise, especially through all these internet-connected devices.
Oh, yeah,
It's kind of a scary thought, isn't it?
it is. We're seeing more and more devices integrated into trucks these days. GPS systems, electronic logging devices, even sensors that monitor the temperature of the cargo.
Wow.
And every single one of those is a potential entry point for hackers.
So it's not just about protecting computers and networks anymore. It's about securing the trucks themselves.
Exactly. The trucks are becoming like giant computers on wheels.
Wow. So what could happen if a cyber attack was successful? I mean, what's the worst case scenario?
Well, think about it. Hackers could disrupt deliveries, cause delays, shortages. They could mess with GPS systems, send trucks on wild goose chases, or even to dangerous places.
Oh, gosh.
And in a really terrifying scenario, they could even take control of a truck's brakes or steering.
That's terrifying.
It is. It doesn't take much to see how disastrous that could be.
Yeah, that's a chilling thought. It really highlights how vulnerable the industry is to these attacks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a wake-up call for trucking companies. Cybersecurity can't be an afterthought. They need to invest in strong security measures, train their employees, and be proactive about identifying and mitigating risks.
So it's about protecting their data, their operations, and ultimately the safety of everyone involved.
Exactly. Drivers, the public, everyone.
Cybersecurity is clearly a major challenge that can't be ignored. And speaking of challenges, the article also mentions a possible port strike
Oh, right.
in early 2025.
Yeah.
That sounds like it could have huge ripple effects throughout the supply chain.
It definitely could. Ports are like the arteries of global trade, right?
Right.
A strike would be like a blockage in those arteries.
Yeah.
It would bring the flow of goods to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
Delays shortages, increase prices for everyone.
Yeah.
Imagine waiting weeks or even months for that thing you ordered online.
Or going to the store and the shelves are empty.
Exactly. It wouldn't be pretty.
It sounds like a logistical nightmare. And the impact wouldn't be limited to just businesses, would it?
No, not at all. It would hit consumers hard, too. Delays in getting everything, electronics, clothing, food, medicine. Prices would probably go up, too, as businesses try to find other ways to get their goods to market.
So this potential port strike is a big concern for everyone, not just the shipping industry.
Definitely a concern for everyone.
Okay, well, amidst all these challenges and potential disruptions, the article does offer a bit of good news. It predicts a record number of women joining the trucking industry in 2025.
Oh, that's great.
That's got to be a positive development.
It's fantastic news. Trucking has always been a male-dominated field, but we're finally starting to see some real change happening. This influx of women drivers could really shake things up in a good way. Not only can it help with the driver shortage, but it also brings fresh perspectives, new ideas, and much-needed diversity to the industry.
It's awesome to see the industry becoming more inclusive.
Yeah, it's a positive step.
Now, earlier we talked about some of the potential downsides of AI.
Right.
But the article also highlights how AI could be used to actually improve driver training and safety. Can you talk a bit more about that?
Sure. Imagine a system that can analyze a driver's behavior in real time. Give them instant feedback and coaching to help them get better and avoid risky moves. AI could also be used to create personalized training programs, tailored to each driver's strengths and weaknesses. It could make learning more effective and more engaging.
So it's like having a virtual co-pilot constantly monitoring and guiding the driver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Always there to help them make safer decisions.
That's a cool concept.
And think about using AI to analyze all the data from past accidents. By identifying patterns and trends, AI could help us understand why accidents happen and figure out how to prevent them.
It sounds like AI could really play a key role in making trucking safer.
It definitely could. But of course, technology alone can't solve everything.
Right.
It's about finding the right balance between human expertise and technological advancements.
Yeah, finding that sweet spot.
Exactly.
Now let's switch gears a bit and talk about e-commerce and the demand for faster, more efficient delivery. How is that impacting trucking companies?
E-commerce has changed everything about how we shop, and it's put a lot of pressure on the trucking industry to keep up a chap. Consumers want their online orders delivered fast, within a day or two. This has led to a surge in last-mile delivery services.
Last mile delivery.
Yeah, it's the final leg of the delivery journey, from a local distribution center or warehouse to the customer's door.
So it's like the make or break moment for a lot of e-commerce companies.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
all about that final handoff.
What are trucking companies doing to tackle those last mile delivery challenges?
They're getting creative. We're seeing a lot of experimentation with new delivery models and technologies. Some companies are using smaller, more agile vans to navigate those busy city streets. Others are partnering with local businesses to create pickup and drop-off points. And some are even looking at using autonomous delivery robots and drones.
Robots and drones delivering packages.
I know it sounds futuristic, but it's happening. These technologies are still pretty new, but they have the potential to really change last-mile delivery, make it faster, cheaper, and more sustainable.
It's amazing to see how technology is transforming the industry in so many ways.
Yeah, it is. From electric trucks and AI to delivery robots and drones, the future of trucking is all about innovation.
Definitely. And one of the biggest hurdles the industry is facing is finding and keeping qualified drivers. The driver shortage has been a problem for years, and it's not going away.
It's a tough one.
It is. What are trucking companies doing to try and attract and retain drivers?
They're trying everything, offering higher wages, better benefits, improving working conditions, providing more training and development. Some are even exploring flexible work arrangements, letting drivers choose their own schedules and routes.
That could be really appealing, especially to younger drivers.
Exactly. They're trying to make trucking a more attractive career choice.
It's great to see companies investing in their drivers. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have, from economics and politics to technology and the human factor.
It seems like 2025 is going to be a pivotal year for the trucking industry, full of both challenges and opportunities.
Definitely a year of transformation.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up.
That's good.
What do you think will have the biggest impact on the trucking industry in 2025? What's going to be the real game changer?
That is the question, isn't it? It's tough to pick just one thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a combination of all these different trends we've been talking about.
Yeah.
All coming together to create a perfect storm.
A convergence of factors.
Exactly. For example, you've got the economic uncertainty, the possibility of a port strike, and the ongoing driver shortage,
Right.
all happening at the same time.
That's a lot to juggle.
What if the economy slows down and freight demand drops? But then at the same time, we have these port disruptions and we can't find enough drivers.
Oh, that would be rough.
Yeah, it would be really tough on trucking companies.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it's not just about these individual trends happening on their own. It's how they all connect and influence each other.
Right, like one problem can trigger a whole bunch of other
A
problems.
domino effect.
Exactly. But on the flip side, if we see positive developments in those areas, it could create a much better outlook for the industry.
Absolutely. If the economy is strong, ports are running smoothly, and we've got plenty of drivers, that's a recipe for success.
Okay, so what about technology? We've talked about AI, autonomous trucks, all this digitalization. Do you think they'll make a big difference in 2025?
I think they have the potential to, but we got to remember, technology is a tool.
Right.
It all comes down to how we use it. AI and automation could make things more efficient, improve safety, maybe even make the industry more sustainable.
Yeah.
But we also have to think about the potential downsides, like job displacement, ethical concerns, cybersecurity risks.
It's not as simple as saying technology automatically equals progress.
Exactly. There are trade-offs to consider. We need to approach these new technologies carefully and strategically.
Make sure they benefit everyone, not just the industry, but society as a whole.
That's the goal.
Well, it sounds like 2025 is shaping up to be a pretty exciting year for the trucking industry.
Full of challenges and opportunities.
Yeah, definitely a year of change. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about trends and predictions, but now we want to hear from you, our listeners. As you think about everything we've discussed today, think about how it might impact your own life. Whether you're a consumer, a business owner, or someone who relies on the trucking industry in some way, the future of trucking is really the future of all of us.
It's all connected.
It is. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of trucking in 2025. We hope you found it informative and thought-provoking.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. It's been a great conversation.